Hi, everybody.
Welcome. Little Aussie Sue, Denise, and Missy Hammer. Welcome. So, what we got going on, Kelly Joe?
Oh, I thought that we'd talk about tricky spirits.
Interesting.
Yep,
They can
they're,
be very tricky, can't they?
yeah, they can. They can look like you and me. They can throw their voices, sound like us. They can look like little kids. They can look like an animal. You always have to, don't ever forget to do a prayer of protection before you ever do an investigation, you know. And they can also, you know, got to also be careful, like we talked before, that you don't have an attachment and they come home with you. You always have to be careful of that. Tell them to stay put, and you don't want them coming home with you.
That is correct. Yes, I totally agree with you with that. Absolutely. So, how do you tell the difference?
Well, it's hard to, you know what I mean, because they can come off and they can just, you think you're talking to a kid, and all through your investigations, sometimes it isn't, you know, and so you have to be careful of that. A lot of times that's evasive or uh, can tell you little white lies, things like that. That's how you know it's a tricky spirit.
That makes sense. Yes.
It's like you can hear your teammate call you from the other room, and they're not in the other room. They're downstairs or upstairs. That's what a tricky spirit does. And they can, make themselves look like a doppelganger, of your friend. That's a tricky spirit.
Yes, and I've actually heard that's happened before on ghost investigations.
Oh yeah. They can throw people's voices, and it's not their voice. Sometimes they'll use the voice of a loved one, and it's not your. You think it's your grandma, it ain't your grandma.
That's terrible how they can do that and fool you. But that's part of the trickery. I guess they do that
Yeah,
with, isn't it?
totally. Yeah, and you don't just go, "Oh, there's a spirit over there." Not all spirits are nice. You know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people actually fall for that a lot.
Oh,
They think it's their loved one or their family member and so forth, and it's not.
right. So you have to be very careful of that.
Have you had any experiences like that?
Personally, no. Because when I'm trying to clear a house or whatever, I'm usually doing a clearing. But well, they do negative entities. They can. I just don't stand for any funny business when I'm trying to clear a house. You know what I mean? That's about enough of them apples. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But no, I haven't personally had that happen. No, I've had when I've gone and cleared, I've had a tricky spirit trick little kids. Think their cat's lost in the closet and it isn't the cat, and then that scares the little kids half to death. That's not cool either. So I've had to have confrontation with the spirit and send it to light and through the light, to clear it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they're very good at doing that. I know that. I hear a lot of people that fall for that, unfortunately, and especially when they use their digital recorders or EVPs.
Yeah.
So yes,
We have a spammer. in the room. It's
Yep, it's on your end now.
okay.
I kicked it on my end.
How do you kick it?
Go up to your 3 little dots, and then you can kick it there. Hello there, Eric. Welcome to the show.
I don't know what you mean. I got the 3 dots.
Yep, then click on the 3 dots, and it will give you options.
It says that's for my computer. So you mean the 3 dots for
on the comments next to the star?
I don't have a star.
Okay, yep, it's coming in from your end.
All right. Oh, well, I won't worry about it.
Let's see here. I can block it. Now she's on my end, so I took care of it on my end. Denise wants to know, using the spirit box, how do you know if it was a tricky spirit or not?
So a lot of times they'll send you on a wild goose chase. But
because a lot of people use those spirit boxes. You know what they are, right?
Right, yeah. They can pick words.
Right.
Static, yeah. But like I say, I always say a prayer of protection before you do anything.
Yeah, that's very important to do. Make sure I'm blocking the right one here. And she's back on my end. She's doing different formats, so. You always got to have a few of those in here.
Yeah.
There we go. But yes. But when you're on an investigation and stuff, and you deal with these trickery spirits, especially for being a beginner, I mean, they fall for all kinds of stuff,
Oh, yeah.
That's the sad part of it.
And that's the scary part.
Yeah. So what advice?
Well, you have to be very careful, and use your discernment.
I mean,
if it don't feel right or act right, and your gut tells you something, listen to it. It's when we don't listen to our gut we get in trouble.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that.
Because sometimes, if you're real sensitive, the hair on the back of your neck will go off, and you can feel that it isn't right. I mean, sometimes you'll go into a situation and the energy's so strong you got to back up a minute and then re-enter, or leave the premises, because sometimes if it's like really bad, your stomach will flip and stuff, and you got to go outside, get a breath of fresh air, and refortify yourself, and then go back in.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, that really does. What do you think about these people that go in and scream and holler and cut and start a fuss and ruckus?
That's ridiculous. It's just you don't do that. And provoking things, that's not good either. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then people that challenge things, they get themselves in deep doo-doo. Sometimes people that challenge things, they'll wait a while, hang out with you, and then get you.
So I guess the voice recorder on our phone, cell phone, or capture a spirit talking. Yeah, a lot of people use those on their cell phones now, because they're rarely accessible and easy to have.
They work.
So yeah.
Lindsay
Smith has got a question for you. Do you think there's really a devil, or do you think people make them up? Wow.
Well, I'm not the specialist here, but I believe, yes, there is a form of evil. There's good and evil. It's not inert. There is evil out there.
Yeah, Eric says, how would you like coming to their house and yell and scream at them? Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah. I think a lot of people watch so much TV and what they do is they replicate what they see off TV because they think it's the real thing, and that's how you do things. So, and
Yeah, and it gets them in trouble.
It does. And they call me and they're like, hey, I got issues at home. My girl and I, spouse, partner, and whatnot, are having problems and everything. And you ask them, what did you do? And they're like, we didn't do anything. Well, you did something.
Yeah, my sentiment exactly.
Right.
And it can break up marriages, can cause a tricky spirit can cause fights between the people. It can cause depression. It can cause you name it.
Yeah. There's another one. Well, we're getting all kinds of these people in here just wants to be a part of the show, wants to be a part of everything. I don't know what it is with these people in here, spammers today. They just love you, Kelly Joe. They want to be a part of you.
Got the trolls.
Yeah, right. I'm blocking them left and right. They're coming on all the platforms.
On my end, but it's like, go away, bye-bye.
That's what I'm doing. I'm clicking on each one of them. So now they're hitting your platforms. They gotta love them. Lindsay's laughing.
It's like,
so
whatever.
Yeah, it's like, wow. But the thing though is, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the thing, and I try to explain to people, ghost investigating or hunting, however you want to call it. It is a form of entertainment that we do watch on TV. Now, do I watch some of it? Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Do I get a giggle out of it? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm somebody, running around and, run into a wall or something. Do I think that's funny? Absolutely. But, it took them 2 or 3, 4 days to film to get that 45 to 48 minutes with those commercials to make that show. It didn't happen in one night, ladies and gentlemen. It took hours and hours.
Right.
So, and it's very boring.
And a lot of investigating is boring. Nothing happens.
Yes. There's been many times where I fell asleep, and playing on the phone, not paying attention, and something. Did you see that? See what? I was on the phone. So then you had to go back and try to, watch the evidence and listen to all that audio and watch all that video. And it takes a toll on you if you're doing everything by yourself. Welcome, Liana. Crazy Witches. Yeah, I know, right? I did block him by mistake. What happened, Crazy Witch, is I went to block somebody and somebody said something and I hit the button and you jumped in line.
Uh-oh.
Thank God it was only temporary, not permanently. So, yes. So, everyone froze. So, how do you...
don't
go ahead,
realize
Kelly.
That, again, with spirits, they were once human. And how'd you like somebody come in your house and not be invited and antagonize you? That's not nice either. The good spirits, not the tricky spirits.
Right. I mean, I can understand that. Now, is it true? Now, this is what I always hear. Is it true if you're mean on this side, you're mean on the other? If you're nice on this side, you're nice on the other?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And it isn't like if you pass over, you don't have omnipresence. You know, if you don't know a lot over here, you aren't going to know a lot over there.
Okay, that makes sense.
I
Lewis
mean,
Rogers wants to know what's your thoughts on Amityville.
it really happened. And there's places that are beyond cleansing sometimes. If there's so much stuff that happens there, that's why people have to move. Sometimes it's not fixable because the land and the energy of the place, you can't seal the vortexes, you can't fix it, you have to just leave.
Yeah, I was going to interview, I think, was it the son or the nephew or somebody, the family members, and something happened on that. I don't know. That was sometime earlier this year, or I don't know what happened, but it ended up falling through.
Mm.
But it's a very sad story. So,
Oh, yeah.
The house is up for sale right now. Or is that a house up for sale, or is it the Conjuring house? One of them's up for sale. I think it's the Conjuring house is up for sale. Yeah, the Lutz family. That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to review one of the Lutz family members.
Oh, okay.
So, Denise says, especially on Indian burial grounds.
Well, yeah.
So,
I tell people if you're on Native American land, you should always leave an offering of tobacco and cornmeal around the house, around the perimeter, to thank the natives.
yeah. Yeah, it is, Lewis. It's very sad what he did to him. Pamela says, hi, Kelly Joe. Welcome to the show, Pamela.
Hello.
Yeah, it's very sad. The story is very tragic and everything on that part. In the spiritual warfare kit, we actually use crosses and other pendants that we put around the property and bury, and use holy water with prayers. That's one of the things that we do when we cleanse the land and the house.
Yes.
So yes. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But you see that tradition a lot when it comes to tribes and indigenous people, tobacco and corn and so forth as offerings. Yes.
But like Grizzly says, a lot of times, when you're cleaning the perimeter of a property too, is use a lot of, salt too. Salt is a parameter for keeping the negative out and the good in.
That crazy witch, I do not know. I did not keep up with that. So that you have to Google. I do apologize about that.
I don't know either. I'm not hip on all that.
So yeah. But what was the worst one that you ever had a problem is with cleansing? You ever had a real problem cleansing an area before?
Yeah, mom and I way back went to a house and it was not doable. We had to just leave. It was just the land was just what a mess.
Wow. Yeah,
because there was like too many portals and too many negative entities, and they had the highway going on, and they had like an old spirit there that was like older than the earth. That's another like an elemental or something, and it just wasn't cleansable. And funny thing, after we left there, mom got a lump in her breast. She had to have that taken out. Thank God it wasn't cancer, but it's like, ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. That one was a bad one.
Yeah. I tell a lot of people when they talk about cleansing the house and they need help, I tell them, don't expect it to work, the first time. Sometimes it takes more than one try to do it. So, prepare yourself. It's not like what you see on TV. It usually doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So
And then,
sometimes it takes a couple of times.
But two, lots of times they'll look for it and invite it back. That's half the problem, having to go back too.
Lindsay Smith, Kelly Jo, my grandmother passed away. She was abusive to people and animals. I was tasked with help cleaning out her house. She knew I didn't like her. Continued, so she's still typing. Lewis Ronders, is burn sage any good, or is that just a movie trap?
Sage burning is a good thing. It clears energy.
And Lindsay's back. Long story short, she had an old cookbook that opened up to put in a box. Instead, the book was a big black widow spider. The spider tried to attack me twice. Whoa!
Wow.
A big black widow spider. The spider tried to attack me twice. I had to run from it. It jumped on me again, trying to attack. Do you think my grandmother did this? That sounds supernatural to me.
It was supernatural, and yeah, she was mean.
Wow, Lindsay. I would have nightmares off that. Inside the cookbook. Yeah, I would definitely have nightmares on that. I would probably mess myself.
Not good.
Yeah, she said she was cruel.
Yeah.
And that goes back to earlier in the beginning of the conversations. I've heard, and you confirm it with others, that if you're mean on this side, you're mean on the other side.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I wonder why that is. Why are you like that? Why are you not happy? Are you just...
Well, it's your ilk. It's how you are. You do have a life review when you cross over, and you see everything you've done in your life and everything, and you do receive some understanding. And two, a lot of the stuff that we had over here doesn't matter over there. Like worries and fretting and all that stuff. It doesn't matter over there.
But it seems like you'd be happier, though. You seem like you wouldn't be in pain, or
you aren't.
You wouldn't be miserable. I wouldn't suspect. But
it's love, light, and wonderfulness. You don't have challenges over there that we have here on Earth. That's why we reincarnate.
Wow. But they still have that mean streak.
They'll have they can, I think after a while it'll dissipate, but if it's shortly after, but the personality of the soul, does go along, but things are forgiven over there.
Denise says this may sound silly. Hello, Luna. Welcome to the show. Well, why would they say that this mean in heaven? This be
may sound
mean?
Silly, but why would they be mean in heaven?
Oh, mean in heaven. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I think that there isn't anything in heaven, like that, but the person's personality, because I imagine that they get transformed. I believe that there's a green room that they go to sometimes if you're confused, and you go to heal, and then you can move along with your evolution of your soul.
Doesn't make any sense to me to be mean over there unless they just roll and don't know how else to act. Well, I don't know. I never died and went to the light and went to a green room or a room or purgatory or whatever faith that you believe in. Hello, Lady Wolf, and everybody. Welcome to the show. There are a lot of theories on that. I don't know what is right. So,
I'm not a specialist, but it's just there's an element of your personality, that goes with you.
And that makes sense, right? Energy cannot be,
created or
destroyed.
destroyed. It just changes form.
Right.
I don't believe that they're mean in heaven, but the energy of the person, like, I don't think the grandmother totally has left yet because she's still mean and spiteful. That's what I'm talking about.
Eric, I guess you must be being tortured. He says, I don't know why I keep coming back over and over again.
It's always our choice. We choose. We choose to come back.
Lindsay Smith asks, is there such thing as someone being born evil, or are we all born good?
Well, I look at psychopaths and sociopaths. They don't have a turn-off switch. So I do believe that there is people that are born evil. Murderers, rapists, psychopathic killers, sociopaths.
Denise says, when I pass, I'll go back and tell you, Grizz, but I won't scare you. And when I go, I told you what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump up and down on your all's beds. I'm going to shake the sheets. I'm going to rattle the dishes in your cupboards. I'm going to open up everything in the kitchen. I'm going to be sitting at your kitchen table with my foot on your all's chairs and moving them across the floor. Yes, I'm going to have fun. What I do with voodoo, paraphernalia, dolls, Ouija boards, etc., find them after a person's passed. Woof. Particularly if I see them vindictive and dark and throw them in the trash or burn them, or what do I do there?
Need to bury them.
Don't set them on fire, whatever you do.
Right. They'll reassemble. I've had people do that and it's reassembled.
Lindy Smith, he's going to send spiders. Missy Hammer, my brother-in-law, took care of his girlfriend and took care of himself. When I asked my son in spirit if he went to heaven, he said yes, but he was in deep conditioning. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Missy.
Wow. But yeah, that's the green room.
Wow. See here, Lewis. Well, you are just attracting everybody today there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. See a Ouija board resemble them before? You reassemble them?
Yeah, I've seen
them.
them.
You've seen them. Okay.
Them reassemble.
Lewis says, dang it, I'll start digging.
Yeah.
I'll digging up bones. So, yeah, interesting there. Sounds like Grizzly has plans for after all. You better believe it. I'm going to have a ball, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody that I ever come across with. If you are an investigator, I am going to play with your gadgets, your cat balls, your EMF detectors. I will not disappoint you. I'm going to wait till you're in the middle of your sleep, Rebecca, and I'm going to whisper in your ear, hello, and watch you go, ah! But yes. Lindsay said, I'm sorry I met you. Oh, come on. You got to have some fun. You're right. My luck, I jump up and down on the bed and hit my head on the ceiling fan. So, Cat, what if someone else finds them in the soul? Oh, well, I wouldn't touch them.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Nope. So I would. I mean, that's like if I was out in the front yard, Cat, and I was planting flowers and I was digging and I come across a Ouija board, I'd be like, I'd be covering it back up and be like, yeah, I'm not planting flowers here.
No.
Probably nothing wouldn't even grow anyways. So look at Lindsay laughing. Grizzly's first visit would be FDL. Oh, let me tell you something about FDL. He reached out to me last night, ladies and gentlemen. Kelly.
What
Man, I
happened?
wish he was on the show. I have no idea what happened. So everybody that knows FDL, you know how they like to push the envelope, push that envelope. Well, evidently they pushed the envelope all right. One of their teammates, something happened and wanted to quit. They saw something. And I got a message from him last night. It was like, we need to talk. I'm like, what do you mean we need to talk? I mean, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning their time. They're like, man, we went on this investigation and we got this message to look in the Bible, and there's some message, a passage we read, and all chaos broke loose. And Ryan, one of the FDL members, saw something, and it scared him so bad he wanted to quit the team, and it shook up everybody. So, I had physical therapy today, and I don't know what's going on. So I fell asleep earlier, so I don't know if he tried to contact me, but yeah, they're pretty shook up. So I got to figure out what happened.
Well,
Yes, Nick.
If the guy needs help, I'd be happy to talk to him. You can, if give him my number and he can call and talk to me if he needs to.
Well, he's in UK, so it'd have to be FaceTime or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. FDL Paranormal, they love to do things, and it got so bad a couple weeks ago. I had to send them cleansing prayers, each of them.
Oh dear.
Over Facebook Messenger, and they had to actually cleanse their house and in their living rooms and their bedrooms and so forth.
Well, they had hitchhikers. They picked up a whole gaggle of spirits.
But whatever happened on this past investigation this past weekend was it did a number on them.
Wow.
Yeah. So. Yes, Denise. Mick loves to push y'all. Well, evidently he did it this time. I don't know what happened because I didn't get it out of him because I was live on a show. And when he was messaging me, and I told him this morning, I was like, hey, when I get back from physical therapy, I'll give you a call. And I went to call him. And of course, he was working.
Oh.
So FDL, I thought you meant cut the frig. No, FDL Paranormal. So I don't know what happened.
Well, he done stirred up something bad.
Yeah, it whatever it was, we're gonna find out. We're gonna, I guess, talk about it on tomorrow. I don't know if we're having a show tomorrow. That's how bad it is. I got to find that out because usually we have a show on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. So, but Michael does love to push the envelope, and he has the Dynamic Bible. And when stuff does not happen, he loves to get it out and read from it. And people try to tell him, don't do that.
Well, really?
Yes.
That's ridiculous. And then it's your own damn fault if something bad happens.
See, even Denise says it too. He uses the Devil Bible. So
no. You can open up a portal and you can have a beastie eastie that'll come and get your butt and chew your head off and spit it out.
So I don't know.
No.
But I'll find out.
Yeah, Yolanda. Poking the bear.
Yeah, he did. He does poke the bear, and his wife and I told him before, before being on air, you know, you're going to pay the piper sooner or later. It's going to happen, you know. And evidently something did happen. I didn't get the gist of it. Like I said, I was between shows and on a show, and then I got busy doing things when I got back. I tried to get a hold of him, but he was working. The kids, I don't know. I don't think he takes the kids on investigations. I don't know. I think he has taken the kids on investigations before, but I don't know. I have to find out. But Ryan, Angie's husband, or Nicola's husband, is the one that saw something, and it scared him that bad. He wanted to quit the team. He was like, "I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm over this. No, I cannot take it." So, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I
We'll,
hope it's okay.
so,
Mm-mm-mm.
but
Definitely not good.
and what's strange is they're not on your show, because they're always on your show since they got brought up. Usually they're on your show saying hello because they love coming on the show and saying hi. And I try to tell people, you got to be careful what you do and what you ask for, because you may get it.
Yeah.
So, because they always want to push the limits, which anybody does, because they want to get that evidence.
There
They
ain't
want to
no
get
part
that
of me
stuff.
that wants to push the limits. I want to get in, get out, and do what I got to do, and not have big experiences.
Well, they don't say their prayers before. They don't say prayers afterwards. But when they did the cleansings a couple of weeks ago, that surprised me when I send the cleansing prayers that I use.
Good.
So, yeah, Denise, it must have been bad for Ryan to quit, because Ryan's a pretty tough cat. The Exorcist movie looks good though. The new one, it is very good. I enjoyed it. I really did. Really did. FDL was on the show Sunday evening with Dennis, I believe. Yeah. FDL did stop in and say hello. That's when he was messaging me. So yeah, absolutely. Hey Russ, I was just thinking about you. Welcome to the show, my UFO buddy from UK.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hello, Caroline. How you doing? It sounds like it's been in and up for a while, Crazy Witch. Well, the thing though is that the demonic spirits, evil spirits or whatnot, you never know, because over in UK, you have ancient lands. I mean, some of their lands go back to the Romans and
Right.
before that time, right? So when you're investigating things and you do seances and conjuring things up and play with Ouija boards and whatever else you do, and I'm not putting anybody down, because everybody has their own way of doing things, and okay, I love them to death, but things could happen and things can go awry. It may not seem like it today, it can happen, or next week, but things can catch up. So yes. Was there a particular incredible event that has happened to you that made you become so open-minded? Is that for Kelly Joe? Yes, Lindsay Smith. Lindsay Smith's asking Kelly Joe a question.
I've always seen the dead, and I've always been connected to spirit.
Hello, Russell. Welcome to the show.
And I've learned, since I was a kid, to use my discernment.
So mine started with me seeing my grandfather when he passed away. And Kelly has never been wrong with me. At first, when I first met her, I thought she was crazy. I thought she was telling me about tap dancing. I tell her I don't tap dance. She's like, no, taps. I'm like, I don't tap dance. She's like, taps. I was like, I don't tap. She pretty much told me to shut my pie hole. And she gave me a reading live on the air, which I didn't ask for. And she validated a lot of stuff. And I'm like, what? And I can't believe she got me to say what. Crazy wish. I haven't said that in a long time. What? But anyways, and at the end of the interview, she told me right when I was going to move, where I was going to move to. And she's like, oh, by the way, have a good night. When you get there, you're going to have to go see a dentist. Bye. And clicked and right off. I was like, huh? I'm not going to go see a dentist. So, ladies and gentlemen, to her announcement, I moved when she said I was going to move. She knew things about my place where I lived and about my pictures. Remember my pictures?
Oh yeah.
Hanging. And I got tired of straightening them up. And so they got knocked off the wall. And she told me who did it. I was like, well, that sounds like him, my grandfather, because he's a big prankster and trickster. So anyway, so I moved and I was sucking on a piece of red hot candy. And it wouldn't dissolve, and it didn't have any flavor. And I was like, and I spit it out. And ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, I still got a picture of it. I held it up on my cell phone. It was a part of my tooth. And I'm like, you gotta be joking. So guess what I did? I called Kelly out. She's like, you going to the dentist, don't you? I'm like, I gotta love you. So yes, she's always been right. Her and Carol Ann both has always been right. Carol Ann is with Kelly Joe. They both are always been spot on. But ever since then I went on a spiritual journey in the biblical reference last year, and I learned a lot about my stuff. I didn't know my mom had some abilities as well. So, and that led me to my journey. But I've seen a lot of things growing up as well. So, very interesting. Good. This is a good question. But I'll never forget that because, because I was her at the time. She kept saying taps. And I was like, I don't tap dance. And she's like, no, not tap dance. Taps down at the lake, blowing your horn, And I was like, oh, nobody knows that. Yeah, look at her laugh. So, yeah, it was wonderful. So, yeah. Carol Ann, you're amazing too. So, yeah, absolutely. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the show. But and a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, when you talk to people with abilities, it may not resonate with you right away, and sometimes it may take months, for it to happen. Go ahead, Kelly.
Well, sometimes you'll tell people about their passed on people, and they won't know who you're talking about, and then they'll ask somebody in the family, and they'll know who it is.
Right, that is correct. Yes, absolutely. So, well, yeah, that was a good question. And every time I go to the hospital for my physical therapy, I can't. And we got another one of these nuts. I can't help from laughing because Kelly, tell everybody about you in hospitals.
Oh my! I can't go in a hospital without having every spirit in creation come up to me and say, "Am I dead? Am I dead? Am I dead?" And it can be layers from the 1800s if it's an older hospital. So what I do is I end up getting lost in the hospital. I go all the way down the basement and I have to ask somebody where's out. And I go out and I release all the spirits. That's what happens to me going to a hospital. I have to triple white light, double bubble, triple bubble myself going into the hospital.
Yolanda, it may take you a while with the guy with the fedora hat.
The guy in the fedora hat, but it's a relative, Yolanda.
So
it's like a great grandpa. Don't you have any old people alive to ask?
Hey, what about that one that wouldn't leave you alone? That come with the button-up white shirt and the pressed pants. Remember that one?
Oh, that
That
was your relative.
Yeah. And I remember we had to get my mom involved. My
Yep.
mom didn't know for days.
Yep. Yep.
And my mom was like, oh, that was my uncle. He passed away in a park when I was like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And that was his favorite shirt. And he wore the same shirt and pants. He passed away in a park. So yeah, and it took her like 3 or 4 days to figure that one out.
Yeah, and that guy hung out with me until you found out who he was.
Yeah. Right. Hey,
That
Kiefer.
happens when you're a medium until you get the message across.
So, yeah, because that one day, and Eric, the one that, I don't know if Eric's still here. Kelly Joe's the one that told me that, hey, you need to help Eric, you know. So, yeah, so Eric's in here. So I said that on the last show, but yeah. But sometimes and then I didn't know who it was that had his hair slicked back and I mean, she described this guy to the T, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, and I got my mother involved and stuff. Yolanda wants to know, do you do tarot cards?
Yes.
Kelly.
Yeah, I can. I do. I use the Robert Henson deck.
Oh, that's right. You carry somebody carries theirs in a wrap or something.
I do.
Yeah, that is you, isn't it?
That's me.
Yes. My grandfather on my mom's side of the family used to wear a fedora hat. That was famous back then.
Yeah, it was like 1950s, 1940s. The men wore the hats.
Yes.
And they looked very dapper.
Yes.
Sure, you can use tarot cards to read for yourself, Yolanda.
Interesting. But it's also funny too, because there's been times I'll be on the phone, Kelly be like, who'd you just walk by? I'll be like, oh, that was my mom. Put her on the phone. I'm like, oh hell, here we go. So yes. So Sean's eating like tuna fish finger crows. Two of them in the macaroni. What is that?
What is a finger crow? Ew.
I have no idea. That don't even sound good. Kelly Joe, I have a new doctor lined up now. Fingers crossed. Well, that's good. Hopefully everything works
Lady
out.
Rush. You'll get yourself sorted out now.
Denise, I have the Prophet Tarot deck, but I have a hard time reading them.
Well, get another deck that you resonate to. If it don't work for you, don't use it.
I heard that you have to resonate with them, just like the pendulums and so forth.
Yeah, but I don't even need the tarot. But it's just so when I do a physical reading, like when I go to fairs, I shuffle for them, and since COVID, I shuffle them, and it's to make them focus. They aren't worrying about doing the dishes or doing the laundry. So,
Right. Yeah. But when's your next show that you're going to be doing your psychic show?
I'm going to do it in September, I think 14th. I had to cancel my show last night because the Blog Talk was goofed up.
Uh-oh.
So I think that I'm going to do it September 14th, I believe. I think I wrote that date down.
Eric wants to know, why did he ever stop talking to spirits?
Maybe you scared yourself.
That sounds like me. I scare myself. So, and what is the difference between tarot and oracles?
I am not an expert, but one's called tarot and one's called oracle. They're both used for divination. That's my opinion on it.
Sean corrected himself. One's called tuna fish finger rolls, not crows. Well, you put crows, not rows.
Okay.
We're
All
sitting
right.
there. Where's this? Yeah, I do, Crazy Witch. I do scare myself. Yeah, have you ever snored and be like, what was that? That's me.
Wake yourself up, did you?
Yes, I do. Did that? So I tell you, I know, Sean, Sean, Yolanda. I was sitting there, Yolanda. I'm not going to lie. After the show, I was going to Google that.
I know. It's like it didn't sound too spiffy.
I was going to Google to see what it just looked like because I was like, "What in the world's he
What
eating?"
is that?
And I mean, if he would have said sushi, I would have been okay with. I mean,
Right.
I would have got images of sushi, but yeah, but so I got a Chase lounge in my studio, and I was talking to one of the guests, and this is months ago, and I got I got Eric's new REM pod that he makes.
Oh, neat.
And yeah, and it works too. We used it on the last show with FDL, and I think don't quote me, Eric. What are they, $60 plus shipping? And it really does, and it's loud. The eyes blink red and everything, and it's pretty neat. But anyways, my other REM pod, I laid it on the edge of my Chase because I was going to grab one, but I want Kelly's face to go, ah! Yeah, right. And
Your dolls.
yeah, and I fell asleep on the Chase with my legs hanging off. And I didn't know, and I was still on FaceTime. I fell asleep. So, making a long story short, I must have rolled over. And when I did, my foot hit the REM pod and it squealed like a pig. Man, I fell. I hit my head on the filing cabinet. I jumped up and I was like, ah. I was like, do it again. And I sat there for like 30, 40 minutes. Do it again. I dare you. All right, make it beat. Take my energy. And I did this for, 30, 40 minutes. And nothing happened. Nothing. It was like, I was like, man, it's like you woke me up to get my attention, And I was like, come on now. You're here. You got my attention. You woke me up. So I sat on the edge of the Chase and I'm sitting there and I'm, how you wave your hand around the antenna to show how to do it. And it dawned on me. I rode over and my foot hit it. That's why it went off. That's embarrassing. So for 30 or 40 minutes, I'm antagonizing this REM pod to make it to go off again for no reason.
Oh dear.
So yes, it's 65 plus shipping. Comes out the summer. I got bad memory, and that is in the USA.
Okay.
Alyssa's things. I'm all afraid by James. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Just what I need. Another crazy or scary song. So my cat sets mine off, Eric says. But hopefully everybody enjoyed the show. And Kelly, I'm glad you had a good time. And hopefully Yolanda gets to figure out the fedora hat person. That'd be interesting on the next show. And hopefully we'll find out tomorrow what happened with FDL. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and try to get a hold of them right now and see what's going on.
All right.
But from coast to coast and around the world, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. We'll see you next show. Bye-bye.